Welcome back to Why Is This a Podcast? I'm your host, Kieran Watts. Happy 2021 or miserable 2020 Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Since I last recorded, which was with the wonderful Mr. Giles Paley Phillips, we've had a momentous series of events. Of course, my first show of the year was addressing um, the attack on the US Capitol, Donald Trump having since been impeached by the US House of Representatives, could be disqualified from holding any elected office in future. Um, Yay? He could well be replaced by the sycophantic and, quite frankly, idiotic and cruel um, people experts describe as dickheads in the 2024 election, even if he is barred from holding office. So I wouldn't get too hopeful. But the fact is, by the time this recording goes out, I'm recording on Sunday, January the 17th. By the time this recording goes out, he won't be president anymore.
Brilliant.
There are a number of other issues to contend with this year. Number one being the fury of our planet. And that came true in horrible fashion with an earthquake in Indonesia that, at the time I'm recording this, has killed at least 73 people and injured 830 plus others. Um, Thoughts with the people of Indonesia and especially those affected in the province that was hit. Um, there's also our own country, well, my country, the United Kingdom, where we're still having a debate we really shouldn't be having about whether or not children should be fed adequately and whether the companies that our government hires to feed them during this pandemic should receive those contracts when they've failed so abjectly miserably. I have alluded to in the past what encourages me during this pandemic are the actions of people at the community level
Mm.
who go out and campaign, work, advocate, donate to mitigate the dire consequences of what you could describe as either government inaction or
Mm.
government incompetence. We've seen so many people donate to charities. We've seen so many people donate to their local food banks. We've seen people launch campaigns using the tools available to them. I'm really excited to welcome today somebody who is using his platform and working very hard to raise money for a very, very important cause, the charity Blue Balloon, through something I have no understanding of, and I hope he can educate me on uh, Twitch. Please welcome Twitch live streamer Christopher Miles.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Miles is fine. Hey, Mighty Miles I go by on Twitch,
Mighty,
but
Mighty Miles.
yeah, or Chris is totally fine. I'm not that bothered. But yeah, nice
Chris,
to be here. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank
thanks
you.
for having. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
Lovely to meet you.
yeah,
Obviously, you're on Twitch, as I mentioned. I've no idea what it is.
yeah.
Before I get into that, how's COVID been for you? How's the lockdown been for you?
Um, for most, I guess it's just about with anyone else, really. It's a struggle day to day. It's hard to meet people nowadays, which I always thrived on every time before COVID happened. I would always go out with friends, have a beer, and just socialize. So if anything, lockdown for me has been quite an interesting time because I've had to socialize a lot on the internet now with my family. It was quite a devastating impact, really, because last Christmas, Boris changed the rules with the whole lockdown scenario. So I wasn't allowed to leave London, where I'm currently living, to go home and see my family back
Mm.
in Wales for Christmas to celebrate with them. So I had to, yeah, stay home throughout the whole New Year, the whole of Christmas on my own, which sucked. But I was able to still FaceTime my family during the Christmas day, obviously. So that was a nice thing. But it was interesting because I learned to cook my first ever turkey. So there is a time for everything, I guess, and that was one of them.
I'm very, I'm sorry, I'm sorry to hear that you. I mean, I was able to spend Christmas with my, immediate family, my immediate household.
Yes,
I'm very, very sorry to hear that you weren't able to enjoy the same.
it
On
was
the
dreadful.
topic, on the topic of cooking, though, yeah, on the advice of my GP, I just won't try to cook myself. It's a,
Brilliant.
I've been told it's a terrible idea. I've given myself food poisoning in the past.
Oh, really? Oh, ooh.
I had to
Well,
have it cooking.
well, that's what I was dreading because I've had to do the whole shebang, the whole vegetables, the Yorkshire pudding stuff, and the old turkey. I didn't like a cook. I didn't cook like a Christmas turkey crown or anything. It was literally just a what do you call it, a breast joint.
Yeah,
So it was only a tiny one just for me, obviously. But it was funny because when I was cooking at the time, I was with my family on FaceTime trying to communicate what to do because I had no clue how to do it, obviously. So it was an interesting experience and it was delicious. So
I'm glad it was delicious. If it had been me, it probably would have been like a turkey flavored pot noodle or something. I think that's the only thing I would have trusted myself with. Uh,
fair enough.
as we were mentioning, sort of like in the pre-interview
Yeah.
chat, obviously various sites, platforms are blowing up. Like
Hmm.
we mentioned TikTok, something I think we agreed neither of us understood. Obviously, I know so precious little about Twitch. Hope you will educate me.
Of
Uh,
course, yeah. So
it you mentioned, of course, about um, the hardships of not being able to socialize. You said you'd thrived on that.
yes, of course.
Was the engagement like you had with people through Twitch?
Mm.
Um, sort of was that because I know that you started engaging with Twitch this year or the past
Um,
year.
last year, yeah.
Yeah, the past year, and also
Yes.
was that like kind of a response to that? Basically, how did you start with it, and
Yeah.
what's the response?
So what happened was before when we had our first lockdown in March, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Basically, before Twitch, I used to make videos on YouTube of me playing video games and stuff. So I was
Mm.
basically trying to be PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, anyone who knows these are like famous YouTubers who specialize in gaming. But basically, it was quite a difficult thing to get into because I wasn't getting enough of an audience to come watch my videos. There wasn't that sort of community growing. So that's why I went to Twitch because I've always been curious about the idea of interacting with people whilst I'm playing a game, basically, and having that interaction with them. And the good thing about this is, since lockdown has happened, you can't obviously mingle with people indoors anymore. Well, to some extent, I guess. But I miss the idea of playing games with my friends in the same room together, just on the couch and stuff. So to do that through Twitch and to have people chatting to you whilst you're playing the game is actually a nice thing to have, I think. So
Does it like kind of act as sort of not replacing because obviously you can't replace
no.
fully online.
Yes.
Um, you can't replace what you get from personal interaction
No, I know that.
with friends, but does it like um, serve that purpose to some extent for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed it. I've been doing it since I've been doing Twitch since the first lockdown back in March. I've wanted to do something different basically. It was lockdown was kind of a thing where, oh, we can't do much now because everything's shutting down. We can't go out a lot to certain places. So I figured last year was a year where I was going to learn something new and see how it would work out. I had no hope whatsoever. I thought I weren't going to maybe get that much sort of. I didn't think I would enjoy it basically, but until people started coming into my videos, watching me live and talking to me, it really helped replace that sort of idea of having people with you in person and stuff. The only difference is I have full control over the game. No one can take the controller away from me, so I'm the host of the show.
I,
That's
I, I've got that kind of power complex with this show myself.
basically, yeah, that's how it
If
is.
I can take control,
Hmm.
nobody, nobody can take this away from me. Joking aside,
Yeah.
it's kind of similar for me.
Hmm.
Like starting this was in many respects a kind of an outlet for interaction. I'm in very fortunate position
Of course.
where I am with my immediate family. I'm
Yeah.
not um, sequestered, I suppose
Hmm.
to call it. I'm not isolated from the outside world, well, from my loved ones
Yeah, I know what
in
you
many
mean.
respects.
Yeah.
I can see them, talk to them. Obviously, you know what families like. Sometimes you wish you didn't, you know, especially when you're in quarantine for so long.
Yeah,
But
it's people have limits.
I can see my neighbours. I can see friends at various points of the pandemic. But this was kind of um, a mechanism to engage with the outside world, to engage with people of different experiences.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, Several of my interviews, people in different countries,
Hmm.
and get like a it's reaching out. It's kind of it's socialize. It sounds odd. It's socializing from a distance. It's
Yeah.
not the same, but
Social distancing
it
in
is.
that sort of regard, I guess.
It's why I support them using. It's why I support using the term physical distancing
Well, yeah, yeah, that makes
as
sense.
opposed to social distancing. Social distancing implies no socializing, whereas you can do it if you have the means, but of course not everyone
Yes.
does have the
Yeah.
means.
Hmm.
You mentioned obviously about like that was your starting point.
Yes. Yeah.
How have you progressed? Would you
Um,
say during the lockdown? Have you become better? Have you
uh,
become worse?
I've learned a lot of things basically in Twitch. So basically, it was quite difficult to begin with because I was obviously working in my full-time job, which is at a post-production company. So I'm what's known as a runner. So my responsibilities is I got to look after people who make TV shows basically that we watch on telly. So examples are Top Gear, Gogglebox I work with as well. So all the big productions. And yeah, so and there's another job I also do, which is a freelance job. That's basically video editing and sound editing for
Mm,
people, basically. So I've had to juggle them two together whilst doing Twitch. So it was quite difficult at first because I was trying to
mm,
make a schedule for this and stuff. I think it started to come together for me very well around October last year. So it took quite a while for me to progress. But I think the reason I started to gain popularity was because I learned a new thing called Discord. Is called basically, if anyone doesn't know,
I've heard.
Discord.
I was going to say I've heard of Discord as well, but I've no idea what it is. So for my benefit as well.
Yeah, so Discord is basically a kind of a social media platform where people chat to each other about interests they have. Basically, they create a server dedicated to that subject. So, for example, if someone enjoys a TV show like Gogglebox, like we just mentioned, someone could make a server dedicated purely to that, and then people can join into it and just have chats specifically about that program. So when I joined Discord, I was joining servers where people play on Twitch and stuff and do live streams. And that's how you meet people then. You start to create friendships, connections, and then people jump into your stream basically when you've gone live. So
and,
that's how I've been getting more people watching my streams basically through Discord.
and, you,
So
and you're bonding over sort of common ground. You're bonding over
yeah,
shared interests, shared. It's sort of not entirely dissimilar. It's different from what
mm,
I'm doing with this show, which is
yes,
obviously a one-on-one format. Yours is more interactive with people on a
yes.
on the level of, like you said, as of friends chatting, whereas this is more like, for want of a better comparison, Good Morning Britain.
In a way, yeah, I guess. I
I,
guess that,
I try not to let my inner Piers Morgan
yeah.
out.
Brilliant.
For people who are looking at maybe going into live streaming themselves,
Hmm.
um, what would your advice be to them?
There's a few things I could say. One of them being don't pretend to be someone you're not when you're doing streaming, especially when you have a microphone and a webcam when you're streaming yourself playing a game. Well, that's the thing. Twitch isn't just about gaming. Become a whole new thing now. It started out as gaming, but people can play instruments live on Twitch so they can have their own gig and stuff. Cooking's another big one. Apparently, people cook recipes and people watch them do this on Twitch. Um,
You mentioned cooking earlier.
yeah, there's all
Uh,
sorts.
I'm glad. I'm sort of glad I didn't know about Twitch until this conversation. Because maybe I would have tried to show my own cooking.
That would be amazing.
That would have been horrific.
Yeah, but sometimes people enjoy I was going to say the misery of others, but I was going to say the misfortunes of people screwing up their cooking sometimes. But that's the thing, see, I'm not considered a professional gamer by any sorts. I mean, it depends on what game I play. Like sometimes I'm great at one, sometimes I'm terrible at the other. So I would say I don't do Twitch just because I'm professional at gaming. It's mainly because of my sort of persona, I guess. Like when I play horror games, I get scared easily. So people enjoy people watching other people scared, get frightened basically when playing video games. So, um, but going back onto the question about tips, I think it was, wasn't it?
Right.
So one of them being play a game that you know very well, so and that you enjoy, so you can have something to talk about. You can talk about the game, obviously, that you love, like what memories you have of it.
Or just and go branching off of, like as you said, it's not about gaming.
Hmm.
It's about uh, a hobby, a task that you love.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So and yeah,
So cooking, another thing, like you said, so someone could talk about obviously what they've cooked before that was quite a challenge. It's just anything really. It just the main priority is do something you enjoy. Don't do something that you won't enjoy because it'll make you miserable and it will make things more difficult for you because you ain't going to create that success really on your channel. So yeah, I think that's one big tip I can probably give. So yeah.
how much of a following would I get on Twitch if I started uploading videos of me playing solitaire?
Mm. I mean, I guess
I'll take that as not much.
the thing is, I haven't seen any people play solitaire, I think, on Twitch. People play poker on Twitch quite a lot.
I know, but poker there, stakes. Solitaire is sort of one of my coping mechanisms.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how saturated the game is online, because how it works is with Twitch, people watch different games online, and the rule is the more saturated a game is, the less likely you're going to get views starting out, because you're going to be on the bottom pile of people streaming. So another tip I give to people, play a game that isn't hugely saturated. So play a game that came out maybe 10 years ago, maybe. And if it's not as popular on Twitch, you might get lucky. You might bump into people who will discover your channel. Basically, that's how it's happened.
Be effectively be unique, but be yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lovely. So I'm going to ask you about what your outlook is and what you're trying to achieve. And I know there's something you are trying to achieve. I mentioned it earlier. Um, it's a live stream you're doing on January the 23rd. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It is Saturday. Yeah, on Saturday, 23rd.
For 12 hours.
It's going to be a 12-hour live stream where I'll be raising money for a children's charity. Basically, yeah, what will happen is I'm going to play a game all in one sitting. It's called The Last of Us, basically, if anyone doesn't know. It's an apocalyptic
I know about
game.
I know that about The Last of Us. I have heard of that.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's a very acclaimed and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be doing it on the hardest difficulty, which I've never done before. This is going to be my first attempt at it, all in one sitting, and it's looking to be a 12-hour stream due to how long the game is. And yeah, people are going to be donating live to this to the children charity Blue Balloons. So yeah.
Why is Blue Balloons so important to you?
Well, it was first founded in my local hometown. It was primarily founded in a church that my family goes to quite often, and the person who runs the events in that church started it out, basically, called Blue Balloons. But yeah, I wanted to. Well, one of the reasons I wanted to do fundraising was because I wanted to make a difference, like any one person would. So yeah, all this money that'll be donated to the charity will go towards children living in suffering in poverty, having basically difficult times growing, being looked after, basically. And I feel like all this money will hopefully go towards children and bring a positive impact on them, hopefully. But yeah, I didn't want. That's the thing. I love giving to charity. I love giving to charities like is it yeah, Oxfam, Great Ormond Street Hospital is another one I'd like to give charity to. But I wanted to help out a more local charity and see how that would affect the outcome, basically. So,
But like there is something. I personally I donate to a couple of charities.
yes.
Um, to be honest, I have to check my bank account to find out which ones. But there we are. I donate to. I mentioned on my previous one. I donate to Shelter Cymru.
Okay. That's good.
Just because you saw the horrific impact of COVID-19 on homeless people.
Yeah, it's really bad, definitely.
And my guest on that episode, Giles Paley Phillips, he's an ambassador for ActionAid UK, which works, I think, along similar lines, women and girls in poverty as
Yes.
well. And obviously, it's the people in poverty who the pandemic have been most adversely affected.
Affected, yes. Yeah.
I think children, perhaps more than anybody.
Yeah, I definitely.
You saw that with the clusterfuck that was the government's handling of the free meals
Yeah,
um,
that's yeah.
issue. So yeah, so I wanted to donate to Shelter Cymru for that reason. There are causes that I feel strongly about, so if I can, I'll support them. So
Yeah, of
that's
course.
basically it. But there is coming back to my point that there is a difference between just a direct debit
Mhm.
and actually actively yourself like doing something, an activity that can bring hope
Yeah,
and
of course.
help.
Yes.
Charity, I commend you for doing it. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah.
If I get my head around Twitch, I may tune in.
You'll have
I'm
to, yeah.
I'm gonna have to download the users manual. But
Pretty straightforward, like any social media. Make an account with your email address and can
I,
pop.
I do have the Discord app actually. I do
Yeah.
have the Discord app. I just never figured out how to use it, but I'll try my best. Uh, I just hope it's not. I bought myself with Christmas presents because nobody ever knows what to buy me. People
Yes.
did buy me things, by the way. Thanks, people who bought me things. Um,
Brilliant.
I bought a book about the Reagan presidency.
The what's it? The presidency.
Reagan presidency. It's that thick,
Oh,
which I didn't know it was that thick. It totals at. I don't know if that's copyrighted or actually. No, it's free publicity for them. We did this shit.
in a way. Yeah, of course.
It's yeah, it's 1107 pages. I didn't know it was that long. So
I was gonna guess over 1,000 pages at least. Yeah. Big.
I think I've got one book that's about 2,500 pages.
Funny enough, one of my New Year's resolutions was to was actually to read a lot more books actually, because one of my biggest interests is watching a lot of TV and films in my spare time, because that's one of my biggest passions, obviously. Plus, I work in a post-production house, like I mentioned, in my full-time job.
My New Year's resolution last year
Mm-hmm.
was read one book every week.
Oh, really? Wow.
I didn't make that one, so I made the same resolution this year.
How's it going?
Don't ask.
Ah, okay.
Well, well, we're 17th of January. I've got through two. I've got through two. There's this. There's one. The one about Hiroshima I mentioned to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the other one was a history of wolves. That was the other one. It's a novel. I read that one.
Okay.
Just quite. They're both of them very very great books. And
Yeah.
the Reagan book, no, that will set me back because of how bloody long it is. But on
Mm.
a similar note,
Yeah.
the one book I really want to read is Obama's book.
Why is autobio? You mean? Yeah.
His autobiography of Promised Land.
Yeah.
That could be my Twitch live stream. Is me reading Obama's book in real time.
I'm pretty sure people do that actually. Yeah, they do read books to viewers on Twitch. I'm sure there's a thing. There's like a market for that around there somewhere. Yeah.
I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't think. I probably wouldn't read them to them. I don't want to get struck down with copyright.
Well, that's the trouble then. I wouldn't. I'm not too certain how it works. To be honest, I'm like that with games. I don't know what things can be copyrighted.
It's it depends on the country. I think it's fair use.
Yeah.
You're actually commenting. If you know, if you're commenting, I think on something.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like if I read like Obama's book, I don't know if it'd be enough to like finish a chapter and go, that one was shit. Or the next one. Oh, I never knew that about Joe Biden.
But yeah.
I mean,
that's a few things. That's one thing I've learned about Twitch, about copyright. Because when I started doing Twitch, I would play music in the background whilst I'm playing on my game, basically ambience music. But it's annoying because if you use music that's licensed by companies, so stuff like, let's say, for example, I was playing a song by, I don't know, David Bowie or something, like anyone at all.
Man.
Anything by the Beatles. Just, yeah, the point is, if you play it in your stream, they mute your stream automatically. So you can't hear yourself speak, or you can't hear basically anything at all during that whole segment. So
Bowie opposed that as well.
yeah,
Bowie was fairly he was fairly encouraging of people. The one I like, the quote I like about people using other people's music is Freddie Mercury. And his quote was, "You can do whatever you like with my music as long as you don't make it boring."
Yeah, and now they've created like memes, I think, of Freddie Mercury now and stuff, if anything. But I don't know if that's what he was expecting when did he go? I think it was 1995.
No, it was. I think it was earlier, 91.
91, somewhere in the 90s. Yeah, I don't think he would have expected in about 20 years or maybe 30 what this sort of generation of people would do to his voice now on YouTube.
Oh Christ! I'm just looking because it's important to me. It's important that I be right.
Of course.
It's my show. I have to maintain authority over my viewers. The only person with more authority is James, my editor.
I liked Freddie Mercury. I liked Queen. Queen's definitely one of my favorite bands to listen to. So
you watched Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah, good film. I enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody.
I mean, I've got a bit of a crush on Rami Malek. So.
Yeah, he did great. Good performance.
But you know who they were going to have? I know that we've completely gone off the interview questioning, but I hope our audience is enjoying it because these are the kinds of natural conversations that I think make this industry terrible. Do you know who they were going to have before Rami Malek?
It was Sacha Baron Cohen, wasn't it?
He should have been Baron Cohen.
Yeah, I would have been it would have been very interesting, but I think it would have been cool. I would have loved to have seen that.
I want to get Sacha Baron Cohen on this show.
Be good.
He would be good, but he probably wouldn't do it.
Be very, very interesting. And the thing is, for all we know, he could end up having a different persona coming onto the interview. He wouldn't just be Sacha, it'd be probably a Borat person. He'd be him doing Borat.
I've seen him do interviews. It depends on who the interviewer is, but he is apparently like when he films, he'll be in character because that's like the gist of it.
Yeah.
But when he's doing a serious interview about things, I've seen him do ones. He's completely wonderful.
Yeah, like straightforward and stuff. Yeah,
I love the fact that this has actually evolved into like just a friendly conversation.
Yeah.
The interview question is printed out.
Brilliant. It's your show, though.
We have to pick that up when we
go back. Yeah.
In all seriousness, I do really admire the fact that you're using your platform on Twitch to raise money for this this wonderful cause. How can people find it? How can people find you? I mean, I'm sure, James, we can put a link in the description. But
yeah,
I was going to people find it and.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So you go onto twitch.tv and it's /TheMightyMiles. You can just search me up on Google. I think if you type in The Mighty Miles, my Twitch should pop up in the first results anyway. I'm all over social media. I use Twitter a lot. Instagram is a big one I use nowadays. Yeah, just go. just go there.
We'll make sure we've got your social media in the description of this video.
Yeah.
So people can find you. And it starts at what time does it start? Remind me.
It'll be 12 p.m. GMT time.
On Saturday, January the
Yeah,
3rd.
and it'll be on for 12 hours.
We'll do a we'll do a live 12-hour episode of Why Is This a Podcast? Right.
That'd be interesting.
Where I just read the lyrics to Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, while ominous music plays in the background, and I wear sunglasses or something like that. I don't know. I want to do my bit too.
Spontaneous, but it's great.
I don't know how many of my jokes James is going to cut. There's some guests you get, and it's like a holiday. It doesn't feel like it's like a conversation between friends. You're one of those guests.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's another good thing I've loved about Twitch. It's made me come out of my shell a lot more, basically, because before Twitch, I was pretty antisocial. Like, I didn't have much of a social upbringing. Well, when I say social upbringing, I'm saying like when I was in school, I was always the kid who got bullied a lot. I had maybe the odd one or two friends who had my back every now and again, which was great, obviously. But yeah, I was never the sort of person in school who was good at football or rugby. Basically a popular kid. I was never that kind of guy. But now that I've discovered Twitch, I've been talking to people all over the world who like what I do, who have the same interest in me as well. Discord I've discovered as well. Like I mentioned, that's a big part of my Twitch now. So it's been great. I'm talking to people from, I don't know, from Germany is one who watches my streams a lot. One from America watches my streams a lot. We talk daily, basically. It's fun times.
It's lovely. People do go on about the negative of social media. Christ knows there's plenty of them.
It's countless, yeah.
But
countless.
But there are positives to it, and I do think that it has the potential to both divide people and bring them together.
Definitely.
When it's used in the right way.
Yeah. We all want to have the positives to social media in some regards, because the negatives definitely do not help. Like last year, particularly was a quite tough one for me to like go through with social media, because there was a lot of comments about COVID-19 and stuff. And listening to people's opinions on it was quite hard to stomach, really, because some people made good points, some people made bad points. If anything, it just made things very difficult to go through, really, with the whole COVID-19. So this year, even though I use Twitch a lot and social media, I've tried to, what's the word? I've tried to minimize it, yeah, because I felt like it never negatively impacted me, really, in a way, because it made things more, it just made it difficult to really cope with, really. So
I think what people miss about social media, I'm gonna let you go, but before, what people I think miss about social media is it's a reflection of who we are.
That's true.
It's a reflection of the worst of us, certainly. But it is also can be a reflection of the best of us.
Yes.
And with people like you obviously doing the live stream.
The charity, yeah.
The charity.
Yeah.
It shows the best of us.
Yeah.
Join Christopher Miles's live stream on Twitch at 12 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on Saturday, January the 23rd. And please like and subscribe.
Couldn't have said it better.
I just want to be loved. The Mighty Miles, everybody. Join us next time. Yeah. Chris, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Kirian. Thank you very much. Yeah.